Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. So FIA has announced the new 2026 regulation and that's what we're gonna look into in this video. So without any further ado, let's get right into the video guys. So what FIA had basically tried to do with the 2026 regulation is to make the cars lighter, safer, smaller, produce less downforce, less drag, make the engine more efficient, and that's basically it. That's the short synopsis of what FIA had done with the new regulation. So less downforce, which means the cars are expected to be tricky to drive around the corners, which they hope would bring the entire pack a lot closer, which would help for a championship contention. Lighter and smaller cars means that the 2026 car would be much more nimble and agile to handle than the current ones, which is a welcome change. Though there is a size reduction in the car's overall size, it's not massive. So yeah, that's a bit disappointing, but still, it's a move in the right direction and I'm happy about it. If FIA continues to make the cars lighter and smaller with each regulation, there's no one who's gonna be more happy about it than me. The FIA has also made sure to keep the 2026 regulation as road relevant as possible. So the big focus would be on developing sustainable fuels and internal combustion engine for the future, to once again pioneer a technology or formula to troubleshoot one of the issues that's been faced with the internal combustion engine currently. In terms of technical regulation, FIA says that they have reduced the overall downforce of the 2026 regulation of cars compared to the current gen, but also have made the drag reduction better with the 2026 cars. With supposedly there being no more specific DRS points on track, the DRS is to become a default feature on all cars for the drivers to use it at the straights at any parts of the track to improve overtaking. The new regulation, as we expected, has added the DRS to the front wing as well. But in addition, now the following car will also have additional battery deployment over the lead car to use when they are close enough in a lap, kind of like curse, which should in theory help the drivers overtake better. As with all the new regulation, FIA has once again tried to reduce the dirty air that's been thrown from the lead car to allow the chaser car to follow closer for a longer period of time. In terms of aerodynamics, one of the biggest change with the 2026 car would be the introduction of active aerodynamics, or Formula 1 now fully embracing the technology. With that, both the front and the rear wing will now have more moving parts than before, and the driver will have the control to switch between the low drag and the high drag mode through a lap, like how they operate the ERS now. The deactivation of the low drag will engage similar to how the DRS flap shuts now, basically when the driver lets go of the throttle or when they get on the brakes. This should allow the drivers to be engaged in battles for a longer duration and make the fights interesting to see how the drivers tactically use the system to their advantage. But the new system is also expected to make the power unit more efficient with the reduction in drag in relative terms. As we are on the topic of power units, the new 2026 power unit is focused on delivering better sustainability. To achieve that, FIA and manufacturers have focused on developing a more sustainable and powerful electrical engine. And the internal combustion engine will be fed with 100% sustainable fuel for the first time, so tada bye-bye to the fossil fuels. To make it a fair fight between the new entrants in the engine manufacturer category and the teams that have prior experience with the hybrid power unit, FIA has removed the MGH system from the power unit structure for the 2026 regulation, as the system also has less road relevance. The FIA has also reduced the power figures produced by the internal combustion engine from 540 kilowatts to 426 kilowatts. In turn, has made the battery pack and the electrical engine bigger, so the MGUK now produces 350 kilowatts of power compared to 120 kilowatts that it produces now to compensate for the loss in power from the internal combustion engine. In terms of chassis and safety, FIA has focused on the frontal impact, on the overall car's safety standards, and on the durability and sustainability of the impact structures. But what I'm super excited about is that FIA has focused on reducing the weight of the chassis despite increasing the battery pack and the electrical engine size. So that's basically the new 2026 regulation. And supposedly it was a pretty chaotic day at FIA, as even during the reveal of the 2026 regulations, some teams were not completely on board with the new regs, with teams having issues with managing the cost cap with the new active aerodynamic parts in case of a damage, and are requesting clarification regarding the engagement of the new drag reduction system. So with that, I'm actually super excited to see what the technical crew of teams and drivers have to say about the new 2026 regulation. That's what I'm super excited and curious about, especially Max Verstappen and Adrian Newey. On the whole, if you ask me, I think it's a change in the right direction. Lighter, smaller cars are a welcome change, less complicated aerodynamics with the reduction of dependency on the ground effects, as the 2026 regulation of cars are expected to be run on a more flattened floor. Safer cars attempting to reduce the dirty air again, push to overtake similar to cars, and the removal of the lower rear beam wing should also make the aero concept of the 2026 regulation of cars more straightforward. But I'm still skeptical as to how effective these changes are going to be on track, and I'm also curious to see how the teams are going to interpret the new rules for the design of their new car, and especially to see the outcome of it. Because let's not forget, in 2017 FIA brought a regulation change to reduce the dirty air and improve overtaking. But in contrast, the 2017 regulation actually made overtaking really difficult because of the excess generation of dirty air, and the cars just became really quick. So I'm just excited to see how all this is gonna pan out, and for that I guess we just have to wait till 2026. So yes guys, these are my thoughts and opinion on the new 2026 regulation, and I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and let me know down in the comments on what are your thoughts and opinion on the new 2026 regulation. Which part of the regulation you like the most and which part of the regulation you don't like? Leave it down in the comments. I'm curious to know. I think it would spark a very exciting conversation down in the comment section. So yes, put it down in the comments. With that being said, subscribe to the Master channel if you haven't already, and also hit the bell icon while you're at it so you get notified whenever I upload a brand new video. And until next time, it's me Vinesh from Meister, and I'm out. Love you guys, stay safe, peace.